Welcome to the Armani Talks YouTube channel. I'm your host, Armani Talks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome aboard. Every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm dropping brand new videos on how to improve your public speaking skills, social skills, emotional management skills, along with many more other topics. Join the tribe by hitting that subscribe button right down below. Hit that bell notification and never miss another video again. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and be sure to drop that like on your way in as we enter the world of social skills along with emotional intelligence today. Today's talk is going to be from my book, Limit Breaker, 101 Short Stories, Essays, and Insights to Improve Your Communication Skills. And this book is currently available on Amazon. I'm going to drop the link for it in the description box and the pinned comment right down below. The talk that I'm going to be breaking down is called The Art of Patience. Thus far, my time in Tampa has been somewhat predictable in terms of the services that I go to. With my car, I always go to the same place because I don't know too much about cars. And I noticed anytime I go somewhere new, they try to upcharge me with a whole bunch of different things that I don't feel like I need. However, there's a guy named Luke. Luke is a man of principle. Luke is not the kind of guy that is going to overcharge me. And routinely, for many years, I ended up going to Luke to get my oil change. Unfortunately, one day, Luke ended up moving away, and I realized that I needed to find a new go-to person. In the story, I break down how I go to this new oil change place, and automatically, the vibes are wrong. The guy who greets me has this smug look on his face. I was waiting in line for an excessive period of time. I don't want to complain too much. Maybe it's just me missing Luke's service that's making me think so negatively. I decide to give these people a chance. The guy who takes my order says it's going to take 30 minutes until I'm out of here. 30 minutes goes on by. I see a huge line, and I don't see that guy saying that my car is ready. So I wait another 30 minutes and I still don't hear my name. I wait in the line. I wait for roughly 20 minutes. I am greeted by that guy again. And he says, 30 more minutes and you're out of here. Once again, I wait for 30 more minutes. I'm getting anxious at this point. I get back up, and this time there's a brand new guy. The initial guy who took my order disappeared, and it's this new guy. I want to yell at him, but I know that he didn't do anything wrong. I ask him, how much longer is it going to take? He goes into the back, he comes forward, and he says, "Sir, I'm sorry, we completely forgot about your car." You forgot? How could you possibly forget? So unprofessional. Luke wouldn't do something like this. This guy was not to blame. This guy could clearly see how irritated I was. So this guy said that the entire oil change was going to be free. Free, you say? All right, man, wrap it up and you're good, okay? You're great. Because when you give something for free, it made me think, okay, everything was not wasted. I didn't end up paying for this awful service, and everything was not wasted at the end of the day. What this whole story interaction taught me was a truth in regards to the land of emotional intelligence. The only time you build emotional intelligence is when your back is against the wall. Now, this may not seem like a big moment by any means. It may be like, well, you're being a little too dramatic. You just have to wait. However, if you're the person that's actually waiting, there's physical sensations which are hitting the person. And in this story, I break down how there's two options that we have. It may not feel like two options because the body is getting all jittery. The mind is creating all these narratives of what could play out. Two options seems far from reality. It seems like there's infinite ways to tackle this moment right now. No, there's only two options. Either let the intellect overpower the emotions or allow the emotions to overpower the intellect. If we allow the emotions to overpower the intellect, then we have been impulsive. If we allow the intellect to overpower the emotions, then we have been responsive. Responsive equals emotional intelligence. Once again, easier said than done. However, simply understanding the logic in regards to all of this helps out tremendously. That moment allowed me to introspect deeper and allowed me to understand what exactly am I patient and impatient about. And that's when I started to understand that the whole field of patience is highly general and we can make it a tad bit more nuanced. We can make it more nuanced by understanding that there's two types of patience out there. There's macro patience and then there's micro patience. Macro patience is something that requires us to be patient for a couple of months to a couple of years. And I'll give you an example. Me uploading one of these YouTube videos. Oftentimes, these videos are uploaded, then they seem to fizzle out. Yet, many of these videos, after 6 months to 8 months, start to come back from the dead and start to have a life of its own. That's what I call macro patience. Something that you may find a little bit more relatable is getting a promotion at work. That's not something that's going to happen tomorrow. It's probably going to require a couple of months of consistency, proving to your boss that you're going above what's expected, and eventually a promotion may happen. This is macro patience. And I found out that I'm pretty good with macro patience. This isn't something that I see myself having too much of a problem with. The other type of patience is what I call micro patience. And this is the type of patience where you have to wait in a line, you have to wait in the highway, you have to wait for the oil change. And this is what bugs me. I came to understand simply becoming aware of what bothers me helps me out tremendously in terms of building self-awareness. And self-awareness is one of the pillars of emotional intelligence. It's not just about building awareness of what bugs us. It also comes down to understanding the difference between waiting and patience. Because although I ended up waiting my time in the oil change, I realized I wasn't being patient. I was waiting. Wait a minute, Armani. Waiting and patience are the same exact thing. No? No. It's different, like hearing and listening. Hearing is physical, listening is physical and mental, where waiting is physical and being patient is physical and mental. Physically, I was waiting that day, but mentally, I was creating a lot of these narratives of, what's up with these guys? Why can't they be more like Luke? And I was just enraged the entire time. So I wasn't building that much emotional intelligence. All I was doing was getting more agitated. Nature has a funny way of making us patient one way or another. And recently, I met this moment again. I went to Popeyes recently after a long day. I believe I went there at 9:10 and they were about to close at 10 p.m. I still had a good amount of time to order. And since I hadn't been in Popeyes for some time, I realized that it would be better to go inside rather than be rushed in the drive-thru. So I go inside and I see 3 workers. I see one big, swole black guy with a mask. I see this very little black girl with a mask. And I see this elderly Asian woman, somewhat heavy, wearing a blue shirt. The other 2 are wearing black shirts, but she is wearing a blue shirt. So I'm thinking that she's in some sort of leadership position. She may be the shift manager, something like that. So I'm over here waiting and I notice no one is taking my order. I go there and I'm standing there for 10 minutes. No one takes my order. 20 minutes, no one takes my order. And that's when the Asian woman comes to me and is like, "Did you get a mobile order?" I was like, no, I'm just walking in right now. She's like, I'll be right with you. Another 10 minutes goes on by. And this is when I have to make myself aware. Yo, this is a good time to practice patience. Don't just wait, practice patience. And this is when another gentleman walks into the lobby and the tiny black girl tells that guy, hey, the lobby is closed. The lobby is closed. I've been waiting for 20 plus minutes. You're telling me the lobby is closed? Wait, you didn't tell me anything. You told that guy something. And as I'm trying to deduce what I should do, should I just leave? I see the Asian lady making eye contact with me, and she was like, I got you. Mouthing out, I got you. So I was like, all right, lady, you got a different color shirt on. I'm assuming that you're a person of authority. I'll continue to wait. I waited longer, and still no one took my order. And eventually, after a long period of waiting and being patient, the Asian woman comes to me. She's like, I'm so sorry about that. A few people called in sick today, and it's just been me and these two. Thank you so much for being patient. I said, no problem at all. And that's when she's like, what can I get for you? I ended up ordering the chicken strips meal. She's like, sir, we don't have any biscuits right now. I was like, mentally, no biscuits? I mean, biscuits are one of the best parts of Popeyes. That's one of the reasons I came to Popeyes. She said, we don't have any biscuits. Would you like more chicken strips? I was like, hell yeah. Because I like biscuits, but I love the chicken strips. And that's when she starts pouring in chicken strips into the box, one after another after another. And then she's like, what kind of sides would you like? I was like, macaroni and cheese. She's supposed to give me 2. She gave me 3. She's supposed to give me 6 chicken strips. She gave me 10. And that's when she gave me the bag. She's like, thank you very much for understanding, and thank you very much for not making a big deal out of this. I said, no, thank you. And I left. After that moment, I felt internally good because I realized from that moment 2 things. One thing I learned was from my perspective. I realized that if you can't necessarily control anything about it, use this as a moment to build emotional intelligence. Don't just wait with a negative narrative in the mind. Fight. Overpower the internal conflicts and see if you can use this as a moment to frame the narrative in your favor. And ironically, every time the narrative is in the favor, every now and then I get hooked up with more food. It's like this person can subconsciously sense something from the body language. This is just guesswork. There's no factual proof of this. I'm just using this narrative to further build my patience into the future. That's what I learned from that moment. 1, build self-awareness. 2, build patience and wait. Now from this lady's perspective, I learned something else. Every now and then, we may be put in a position where we're not meeting the deadlines ourselves. Maybe it's at a job, maybe it's for a consulting gig, a freelancing gig, etc. And this is when it helps tremendously to empathize with the person that you're making wait. And not only just empathizing with them, but giving them a little perk. Because simply by giving them a little perk, it's easier to show that this person matters. Where the oil change person gave me the free oil change, it was a perk which helped me forget how long I waited. And likewise, this lady hooking me up with all these chicken strips and macaroni and cheese was a perk that helped me forget how long I waited. So from this lady's angle, she too can practice the art of patience by understanding that it's a masterclass on empathizing with the person that she has waiting. So as a recap, one of the main takeaways that we can understand is that nature is gearing us towards becoming patient. Whether it's building our macro patience or our micro patience, and we'll never know which scenario it's going to be as we're entering it that will require us to be patient. And in those moments, we have an option. Is this going to be a time when I just wait, which is physical? Or is this going to be a master class on exercising my internal world, where I not only wait physically, but I am practicing patience mentally as well? That's how you learn the art of patience. That's how you build it over time and improve your thick skin along the way. If you enjoyed today's talk and you like storytelling formats in order to digest key concepts in regards to communication skills, then you will truly love Limit Breaker. I got 101 of these short stories in this book, so be sure to check it out in the description box, in the pinned comment, or go straight to Amazon and grab your copy today. Thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you next time.